are
Good
you
morning.
today?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the weather outside is frightful, like for real.
Yeah. You sent me a screen cap. It was like 72-mile-an-hour gust.
Yeah, and I went and looked it up because I signed up for the YDOT, or Wyoming Department of Transportation, has an option where you can they'll text you alerts. And
Uh-huh.
so, like, if the interstate's closed due to snow or weather or a crash, you can choose which. I mean, it's not the entire interstate across the state. You can choose which
Right.
sections you want them to tell you about. So I've done that
Right.
for a long time, particularly when my husband worked on the interstate. Anyway, so I got a text alert saying there's a crash and I'm like, oh. And I always know what that's about when it's super windy because, a truck or a trailer has blown over.
Yeah, the
Sure.
toilet paper delivery.
Yeah. So sure enough, I go look at the webcam and yep, someone's dumped over in the interstate. So then that prompted me to look at the last gust, which is what I sent to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it said sustained is in the 50 mph ish,
Yeah.
and the last gust was 72 point something. So that's a bunch of no fun.
No.
So we may or may not. I was going to go maybe to Cheyenne to go Christmas shopping this afternoon. I don't know. I'll be fine in my little car because I drive the service road or the frontage road most of the
Uh-huh.
way when it's like this because I don't want other people dumping over on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We may or may not do that today. We'll see. However, I went to town yesterday and went to the thrift store and
Yes.
I'm excited to show you what I found.
Okay. I do love a good thrift store find, so I am
I
intrigued.
found, well, okay. They had kind of, I mean, it's a small town, right? So they're not going to have a huge selection of anything. But
Mhm.
they had a sign above the puzzles and games that says $1 each.
Oh, nice. Oh, that'll be a fun one.
You know what that is, yeah?
Yeah, that's one of Monet's gardens, water lily ones. Yeah.
Yes. Look at this Portland Art Museum. Okay. Can you see the
Beautiful.
copyright on there?
19, is it 68 or 88?
1968. And you
Dang.
know what was the coolest thing? Or, well, I mean, the whole thing was tied together with strips of pantyhose. Do you remember? You remember when grandmas used to do that? They
You
cut
use
those
everything. You don't get rid of stuff. That's right.
and it was tied both directions. Let me show you. So we started on this, but let me show you. Now, I'll just get a couple of these are thick
What
pieces.
I was gonna say, what are the
Look,
pieces like?
they are
Nice.
thick and
And
they
they're
have a
like
red.
the good, like weirdly ununiform
Oh
pieces
yeah.
too. That's
Oh
always
yeah.
fun.
There's some crazy
Yeah.
ones. Look at that one has a whoop-de-doo. Look at that one.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That is a find,
A
Jana. That is a
dollar.
find.
Oh.
Sometimes I could see if you lived in a small town and you go to the thrift store often, I could see you getting, or just a person getting, annoyed, like, oh, there's not, it doesn't change so much, or there's not a whole lot to pick from.
Yeah.
But when you go to someone else's small town thrift store, I
My.
always feel like it's bonanza time. Like it's just all because it's all new
Mhm.
for you as the person coming from elsewhere, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if we do end up going to Cheyenne this afternoon, we'll go hit up the thrift store in Cheyenne too.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
other
go
thing I
see them.
found was I found it. This had to be from the 70s, maybe the 80s. For $2, it was an origami kit. It has
Oh, nice.
all the paper and the instructions and everything.
Uh-huh.
And you could tell it's really
Yeah.
heavy. So there's a book in there and it was taped shut. So we'll see. I haven't gotten into that yet. So obviously it's a
Yeah.
crapshoot. We don't know if all the puzzles are here, or the pieces, sorry. But it does say,
Yeah.
oh, there's a whole thing on the back too. Look, there's a whole thing about it.
Yeah, because it's like from a museum. And
Yeah, the
so they're
Portland Art
telling you stuff.
Museum.
That's awesome.
Original painting. I had no idea. The original painting on canvas, the original painting was more than 5 feet by 6 feet. I had
Yeah,
no idea it was
it's
that
a big
big.
a lot of the water lily so in
Yeah.
the l'Orangerie, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but there's a museum in Paris that has a bunch of his paintings. And yeah, they're like 10 feet long and 6 feet high, and they have
I
them
had no
all
idea.
around in this one room. And yeah, they're amazing. They're
I just had
amazing.
no idea. Yeah, so it says this puzzle is 20 inches by 22 and 9/16 inches,
Oh,
more than 500 pieces.
nice.
So we got a
I
good
do you
start on
remember
it.
that's like a good reminder of how dumbed down everything has become. This is old ladies complaining. Uh I feel like when we were younger, like certainly newspaper stories, magazines, all kinds of stuff, the backs of puzzle boxes. You just got so much more information
Yeah,
from things.
yeah.
Everything was so much more in depth. And now it's just all, fourth
Well,
grade reading
like
level,
we've
really
talked about
surface.
before, the internet teaches you to skim. People don't actually read.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
on that note, I
Mhm.
am debating whether to I need to get a copy of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott
Okay.
because
Uh-huh.
I volunteer in the spring. Right after the first of the year, we will start sewing. Okay, let me back up. I am not a sewist, because I don't like the term seamstress because there are plenty of men. They would be
Right.
called tailors,
That's
I suppose.
Well, yeah, and a seamstress is more like for clothing, I think. Whereas a sewist is just someone who sews anything.
Anyway, I volunteered when my daughter was in school before she went off to college. She was part of the local high school drama club, and
Hmm.
I started volunteering, doing costume stuff. And the woman who is the one of the coaches for the drama club, she is a very accomplished costume creator, and she wants to
Hmm.
make sure everything is period appropriate. Like
Right.
sh- she's very good at it. Incidentally, she was also my kids' ballet teacher. So we've known her for a long time. Anyway, so I go and help. I just go and help. And like was it last year? Maybe it was the year before. They did Arabian Nights, and I made like 19 pairs of Aladdin genie pants. And that's about my skill level, like MC Hammer pants. That's about what I can manage.
Hmm.
Like they don't really have to fit.
Yeah.
They're just like really big, elastic waist, elastic around the cuff. That's about my
Uh-huh.
skill level with sewing. However, this is Little Women and it needs to be period accurate. So she says she's going to give me like an actual pattern and I'm going to have to like level up a little bit. So yeah. What was the point? What was the point of all that? No, there was a connection.
From old days
Oh,
and
that's why I want to read.
information.
They're doing Little Women. They're doing Little Women
Oh, right,
for
right, right.
the spring production, which is why the costumes need to be accurate. But I want to read. I understand the script will be adapted, but I've never actually read it. And I'm kind of debating, do I want to get it for 49 cents on Kindle and have it, or do I want the actual book? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
I
classic.
so I used to, before I had kids, and even like probably just until like 10 years ago, I used to read physically with a book, read
Yes.
so much. Like
Yes.
at least one book a week, at least a book a
Yeah.
week. And other than what I'm doing for school, I can't think of the last book that I sat down and physically read. I listened to quite a few books
Yeah, it's not the
through
same,
the year,
but
but
yeah.
it is not quite the same. You're still getting the story, you're still
Oh, right.
engaging with,
And I like
all
to
of that,
I
but it
love
is a
that.
different
Yeah,
experience
it
to
is.
sit with a book
Yeah. I
and
love my
have, like, that
audiobooks when I'm
focus.
walking, love the audiobooks for
Yeah,
things when I'm walking or like in the summer when I'm weeding the garden, right? And it's just
yeah,
honest and, or whatever on the tractor mowing. But it's, yeah, I think that's what we're saying. We're used to skimming and,
yeah,
having that physical book is important, not to lose that, I think.
yeah.
Maybe I've convinced myself to order the paperback.
There you go.
Yeah.
You might find one if you do go to the thrift store, you might find one at the thrift store while you're
Or
there.
we'll pop into Barnes and Noble or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's fun.
So,
One thing I wanted to share was my puzzle thrift store find.
yeah,
I was pretty happy about that.
that is a solid find. This summer I did a road trip with my brothers, just me and my brothers, and it was very clear that they didn't really have a plan other than this is where we're going and then we'll come back. And so I took over as trip coordinator and like I made them go to a thrift store on one of the days. Sorry,
Yeah.
there's a thrift store over there. We don't have anything to do now, so we're going to go to the thrift store. And
Yeah.
I found a squirrel cage Swift for
Oh, there was a
like
pause between Cage and Swift. So I was like,
I
what?
couldn't think of what it was. Yeah, no, it was the squirrel. So that's the one that has like the sort of geary type thing, top and bottom that you put on the hank and pull it off. And it was so funny because I saw it from across the store and locked eyes with it. And it's obviously been handmade, it's big and kind of clunky. And I was like, oh, that is really cool looking. It's probably going to be very expensive. And how am I going to get it home? And then I was like, wait, we came in my brother's truck. So that's one problem solved.
Yep.
And let's just go have a look. It was like $15 or something. Like he didn't know what he had. And in fact, the guy whose booth it was, because it was one of those antique mall
Oh,
situations.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I took it up to the front, the guy whose booth it was there, and he was like, "What is this?" And so I explained to him what it was, and I was like, "And it's really I didn't realize he was the booth owner. I
Right.
thought he was just asking."
Right.
And I was like, it's rare to see them that are obviously handmade like this, and it's clearly an older piece. You can get they still manufacture these. You can still get ones like this, but this one clearly has some character to it. And I've been looking for one just to have because, I'm a knitwear, blah, 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 all this stuff. And he was like, oh, and I could tell he was like seeing the pennies fritter away, like, oh, I could have charged more for this. And I was like, so now, if you see another one you can charge a little more for it next time. But I was like, swipe.
Okay. But he might have
But
been
yeah,
also, if he would have charged
it
more,
was
though, maybe he would have found a buyer eventually. Maybe he would have sat with it for a long time.
amazed at forever. And I definitely wouldn't have been as quick to be like, yes, we're getting this. I may have,
Right.
depends on how much more he was charging for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then later, when I was in Shetland, they have the best thrift shops in the world in Shetland, I swear. The charity shops in Shetland are mwah. And so I do, when I get there, I do a circuit and I go to all of them. And then before I leave, I'll go and do another go around, so they have time to refill. Uh,
After
they,
Anne's cleaned him out.
they have, they had a display set up at Shetland Home Co. for Wool Week that had all the knitting and wool related stuff. And they were selling a bunch of squirrel cage swifts there for the same price. And they were more finely made. I still think they probably were all of them were probably handmade, but they were done by someone with more skill.
Right.
And they were charging like the same amount, the same price. And so I was like, okay, well, but I think in Shetland, there's so many of them
Yeah.
and so many people have them that it's kind of a saturated market,
Yeah.
you know?
Sounds
So
cool.
no, I find amazing stuff there. I love, oh gosh, thrift. We could talk a whole episode about thrift store finds. I do
Yes.
love a thrift.
Sounds
Oh, and
silly.
speaking of,
What?
sorry,
No, go ahead.
continuing to build on the theme, on the apology episode, go back multiple days. I mentioned this sweater and I said that it was a Shetland Trader by Wilma Malcolmson. Now, Shetland Trader is not Wilma Malcolmson's
Right.
company. Shetland Designer is Wilma Malcolmson's company. But even seeing that, this is a Shetland collection sweater,
Oh,
which is the label that there used to be in Shetland, where like if you were a knitter and you didn't have your own sort of storefront, whatever, you could sell through Shetland Collection. So
okay.
that's what this is. So I just
I see.
wanted to clarify
Yes.
that this
Okay.
is it is a machine knit sweater still, but it anyway, it's an anonymous sweater. I don't know who made it because it was
And
sold
it's
through
brown and it looks lovely on you. I'm just saying.
matches my hair. I
Yes.
mean, I was made for mocha mousse. I'm just saying mocha mousse, beautiful color. I'm just saying it's an indication that sad beige is one.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, how's your haircut? Your haircut looks nice. Do you like it?
I'm not sure, but I don't know if I think she might have gone a little short on the shaved side, but it's fine. This part I want to grow out more and the undercut will be good. And I think I've mentioned before that I cut my dad's hair since COVID because he has a full beard and during COVID they wanted you to wear a mask and anyway, they wouldn't do
Right.
his beard. He started coming over here during COVID and now he still does because it's free and that's how he is. And the only reason that's relevant is because I am not a trained stylist in the
Right.
least. And my dad's like, well, my dad used to always say the only difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is 2 weeks.
And I'm coming to believe that more myself
He has a point.
as I get older.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, that's fine. Whatever. It's just hair for crying out loud. We really get hung up, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway.
Just wait a while. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And it might be whatever. It's okay. It's not like I feel the need to wear a hat every day like I did when I made the poor decision to get a perm or shave my head. You know,
Good times.
it's okay. You have rearranged your wall.
I did a little bit. I was sort of getting all the Christmas stuff out to get wrapped. I found this,
Right.
which is, I wonder if I tilt my lamp here, if you can see it better. Really? It's a machine knit Fair Isle panel mounted on wood by Terri Laura, the designer of this year's Shetland Hogmanay Mystery Box project.
Nice.
So I got that last year and I hadn't hung it up yet. And it was I put it away very quickly with some books. So it was actually in the bookshelf portion of my
Right. Right.
shelves. I was like, wait a minute, that's not a book. And so I hung that up and I moved the sheep art over here.
Cool.
And yeah,
So
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to wait and see if you noticed. And
I
then you
noticed
did.
right
Good job.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, I have some other stuff to talk about regarding my sock.
Okay.
So let's do your Hogmanay box opening first.
Sure. Okay. So yesterday we were able to, first of all, the winner
Oh
for
yeah,
today
for your Instagram.
is fiber _baker.
Right.
And she gets so many brownie points because I messaged her and
Pun
like
intended.
before we started, and she already sent me her address.
You didn't get it.
It's great. What?
You
I didn't
missed
get
it.
what?
You said fiber_baker. And then you said she gets so many brownie points. And I said, ha ha, pun intended.
I did
And it
not.
went
It was
whoosh.
unintended. I was busy talking, as I often am, Jana. So,
Okay. So if you want a
so
chance,
anyway, so go for it.
if you want a chance
Yes.
to win a daily Instagram drawing and a little packet prize from Anne, go over to at I thought I knew how on Instagram and comment on today's video
Right.
post.
Right. Find the post for today's video. They all say Woolly Winter Countdown. So that's a big sign. So the most recent one. So this is what we have
Woo!
so far with our Aister Ooh. Is this
Nice.
part. So a new Piri pattern here, little pattern, Piri pattern. And now we're starting into the big pattern here. And so today we're going to knit that middle part of the big pattern with our new color,
Nice.
which is
Ta-da!
it's the night we're doing the 19th. Yeah, 19th. I'm sorry, I always have to check, guys.
Woohoo!
Ooh, we are. Look at that purple. Here's yesterday's purple. So today's is Thistledale.
Nice.
That's
Love.
so pretty. So that'll be on top here.
Cool.
We're going into our fourth repeat.
Yay.
Okay. Let me,
Okay.
I got to put stuff down
First, I'm going to show
somewhere.
you, I'll show you what was knitted from yesterday's. Remember yesterday we went into a blue, remember? It is sort of a turquoise
It
sort of
looks more.
teal. Yes, it is very similar. It's a little darker than this one.
I was going to say it looked more green today
It's
than
a
it did yesterday. Like yesterday it looked more blue and now it looks more green to me.
okay. And all this whole time, we've been trying to figure out if there's a rhyme or reason. And I got a message this morning from Michelle at Woolens and Nosh, the creator, the independent dyer of this Advent kit. And she explained it to me because I was unable to see it. Okay. So I, with her permission, I'm going to read to you her message, okay?
Okay, because we're almost to the end now, right? Because
Yes.
we're on the 19th.
Okay.
So
Yes. So we have 5 more colors. Okay. I'm going to read this to you off my phone, the messenger. So pardon me while I look at my phone, but I don't think I can summarize this because I don't know that much about color theory.
Okay.
Okay. So the whole theme of the kit was complimentary cocktails. So the hint is in the name.
I
Complimentary.
see. Okay.
Okay. So she says, it's very geeky color theory. I decided to focus on the color wheel, and I pulled a tetrad or 2 sets of complementary colors. I'll hold this up while we're talking, okay? 2 sets of complementary colors. I picked red, violet, yellow, green, red, orange, and blue, green. And I decided to make 6 shades of those 4 colors for a total of 24 colors. But they looked really blocky, and so I wanted to mix it up. So I took 1 from each of the set of 6 and threw in its complementary partner.
Okay.
Now, because I didn't want them to look too similar, I did extend the range out a little bit. So the red-violet includes, let's see, the red-violet includes some straight-up violet, and red-orange includes some straight-up orange, that kind of thing. I just needed a few more options.
I see. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
That makes a lot more sense.
So the hint is in the name, complementary cocktails, which I would never, I mean, I just don't know that much about I don't know that much about color theory. So for me, I guess I would have never understood that. But thank you to Michelle for the explanation because she sends me a message this morning. She goes, I'm loving watching the Vlogmas, and there is definitely rhyme and reason. I'm happy to share when you're ready. And I'm like, yes, please.
And just to be clear, Michelle, just to be clear, the colors are beautiful.
I love
the colors are beautiful. I was looking for like a pattern in the repetition or something
Right.
like that. So that's what I was looking for. But that all
Yes.
makes sense.
Okay.
That all makes
So
sense.
we've
Yeah.
had our kind of a bluey blue there. And now we're
Uh-huh.
back to the charcoal. And
Okay.
next, woo, is a
Ooh,
light blue. Whoops.
nice. I kind of like that shade.
And I think partly what's wrong here is my lighting. I don't know. It's still wrong. Whatever. I forgot to turn on my light. Okay. So that's
It's
exciting.
always easier when we see it knit up too, like to have a more of a block. So
Yeah.
tomorrow we'll get a better
So,
color. That's pretty. Oh, we're so close to the 24th. I can't believe it. Uh,
oh,
my
oh,
turn. Is it my turn? What?
and you should
What?
get friend
Huh?
vent box. Your friend vent box should come today in today's mail. I
Oh,
got the tracking
yay!
text. I got the tracking text.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I hope she's gonna be home when it comes.
Yeah, I'll be here all day, so that won't be a problem.
Okay.
Is it okay to open the box? Can I open the box and
Yes,
like put
yes.
the
Things are
contents in
wrapped
a basket?
inside. Things are wrapped
Okay.
inside and numbered.
Okay. Yours was also, just so you know, if you want to open the box and
I
put
did.
things.
You told me that.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We're on day 19. There it is. Day 19. Everyone, I will just say, everyone in this family who had a maid advent got their advent in lunch bags this year because we have had, you buy a packet of lunch bags and there's 100 of them. And we, when the kids were little, bought a packet of lunch bags and they are adults now. And we still have that packet of lunch bags. So the cat and the dog each got an advent and theirs are made with that. Yours is made with that. Adam's is made with that. We still have like this many lunch bags left. Like these lunch bags are never going to
Just make
stop being
puppets.
in my
Make
house.
puppets.
Well, that's, stuff like that was what we used it for when we were homeschooling. And I'm like, how these bags are just, there's a never ending supply of bags. Anyway, I spent this morning. So here's our last two. I think we'll have another red today. I spent this morning with the colors, like doing the map out for the pirouette shawl and got these
Nice.
plugged in.
Nice.
So I'm hoping to get some more triangles done today.
I'm looking forward to
But I really, ooh. Oh, I like this one. This is like a burgundy red.
Ooh,
Look at that one.
wow. That's
So here's
beautiful.
our 3 red sections. And so I assume tomorrow we'll have a natural, but this one's called Sunset Shadow on a gray base. And I think this one, nope, that one's Sundew.
That's
Nope,
beautiful.
they're not. They're all different things. But so this one, I like,
Yeah.
I want a sweater with this. This is gorgeous.
Yes, it is. That's lovely.
Nice.
Mm.
So today I'm hoping to do some more triangles
Yay.
because yesterday I got to the point I had to go to bed. Otherwise, I would have stayed up all night and finished it. But I am binding off now.
Ooh, on the Jody
I'm to the
shawl.
bind off point. Uh-oh, I just pulled 2 stitches off. I will fix that later. Uh, there we go. For the Jody shawl. I'm so stoked to have this off the needles later today.
That was quick.
Woo!
That was quick.
We watched, so Adam got home yesterday and he when you first get home you have energy, right? You're like, okay, gotta like unpack and whatever, check in with everyone and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get into that slump that
The crash.
so he was in the crash stage and we were just watching TV and then he was awake for so long he was awake again. So I expected him to like fall asleep on the first episode and then I would do something else. But we just kept watching and watching. And I was like, I'm not complaining because I'm getting so much, done on the
Yeah.
shawl and
What were you watching?
whatever.
Anything good?
He has not seen Squid Game. which is a Netflix show from Korea. And they're coming out with new episodes the day after Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen it in at least a year. So I was like, well, let's watch this because you haven't seen it and I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
I remember the big twist at the end, and I remember some of the games they have to play, but I don't remember all of it. So we watched a lot of episodes. I
Wow.
think we stopped like 10 minutes into episode 7 or something. Like it was like a lot of episodes we watched yesterday. Cause he was just in that like, oh, sort of
Yeah,
stage,
that's all right.
So we just,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's okay. So
yeah.
one that have really enjoyed that just kind of reminded me the Netflix kind of reality TV game show thing. Um, one of the shows that Will and I have really liked and we binged it's called Blown Away, and it's about glass blowing. And it's super interesting
I've
just
heard of that one.
yeah, just because if you're kind of not sure how glass blowing works and all the things, I had no idea they could do so
Yeah,
many different things with. I mean, it's more than just the pipe and the, you know, it's
right.
it's really really interesting. So there's several
Yeah.
episodes. There's a couple, at least two, maybe three seasons, and yeah, and these are professional glass blowers. And like one of the grand prizes is
Mhm.
a residency at the Corningware Glass Institute, which is super
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
Yeah,
and it's not as like kind of cutthroat and lets everybody be mean as like some other reality shows. I mean,
I
I
do
didn't think it
appreciate
was
that.
quite like that. Yeah. At
Mhm.
least season one's not like that. So
Yeah. It's, like with like the Great British Bake Off, or the Great British Baking
I
Show,
like that one
you
too.
know, like there's opportunities that come along with winning those if you want there to be. But at the same time, you're basically playing for a platter. You're not playing for $1 million. You're
Right.
not, so
Right.
it's not cutthroat. It's for the fun of it. And
Yeah. And
I
the
think that
recognition.
allows people
Yeah.
to
And there may be
enjoy
some
it.
career opportunities that come with that recognition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right.
Yeah.
It's not $1 billion. Right.
Right. But if it's like you're playing for career opportunities, you don't want to be the jerk. You want to show that you're
Yeah. That you can
workable,
be
you know?
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Yeah.
So I might go hit up some thrift stores today. I'm gonna knit on a couple sweaters I need to get done. Still have something to wear to Tennessee,
Right.
knitwear.
Yeah. And
I can wear
guys,
my
don't
crazy
forget
socks.
Scenic Stitches. The classes are open. Janice classes are already selling. Like get over to scenicstitches.com and get
Yes,
signed up for classes.
yes. And I'll be wearing my crazy socks.
She'll be teaching that class, which is how to do that heel that she walked us through the other day, but in more detailed instruction. And then also the ladder back jacquard, which
Yes.
makes color work a lot easier. So
Yeah,
go
cool.
sign up. Yeah.
Well, have a good
All
afternoon.
right, my dear. I
All
don't know
right.
what I'm doing today. I don't have anything on the agenda. I'm sure it'll fill
Yay.
up, but
Yay.
I'll tell you about it tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Bye.